Chef Sal was recorded on a cell phone in front of a fake audience.
Hey guys, Chef Sal right here. Welcome to week whatever it is. Listen, for the last, 8 or 9 weeks, we've been doing the most Googled recipe by state alphabetically. We're up to F, Florida. Yeah, hello, Florida. Yeah. So Florida wanted to know all about key lime pie, and I looked it up, and I don't mind key lime pie, but we don't really find the key limes, the tiny little limes around here. They should be in South Carolina, but we're kind of new here. So, and that plus I wanted something a little more exciting. So we looked up other things that they might have Googled, and believe it or not, second in line was pina coladas. So we're making a pina colada pie. Leave it to Florida, I tell you what. I always say it's easy. Everything I do is easy because cooking is easy. Don't fall for the whole chef words and the French thing and all this. Pina colada pie. It's in like 3 stages. You have your crust, which is incredible, and then you have a pineapple layer with some stuff in there. Yeah, it's just stuff. It's not French. It's just stuff. And then you have a nice creamy, limey, can you call it the base of the pie? And then you have a topping, a whipped topping with some stuff in there too. Let's get started right after you subscribe if you haven't already. Boom. Hit it right there, click on the bell, and you'll know when the next one's coming. We have 40 more weeks to go, or 38, I don't know what it is, but let's go. Come on, come on. Here in my food processor, we're gonna make the crust. And you've done this a million times if you're a regular cook, and if not, I'll show you how to do it. As a matter of fact, I have a show that had a crust like this, but I don't feel like looking it up. Plus, I love doing it, so here we go. All right. Get yourself a box of graham crackers. They say in a lot of the recipes to use these shortbread. I like the graham cracker crust, but you can go whatever you want. Make sure it's like a ½ a pound, crush it up, put it in here, give it like a head start. Get a cup of pecans, put it in there. You can toast them before, but what am I looking for here? Oh, that's right. You're baking it. So you're baking it at 350. That's kind of like a toast. Speaking of 350, lest I forget, boom, get that thing going before anything. All right, give me a cup of those pecans. Give me 3/4 of a cup of shredded, sweetened coconut, a little pinch of salt, and what else do we have in here? I think that's it. Yeah, you got everything in here already. Boom, you're done. And what we're gonna do at the end, after it's kind of finely minced or grated, whatever you want to call it, 1 stick melted butter, room temperature. Make sure it's room temperature, and that's it. So let me pulse this. I mean, that's it. Yeah, I'll show you. Oh, it's got little pieces of the white coconut in there and stuff and things like that. See, look, see. Can you see that? Yeah. It's delicious sawdust, if you will. Delicious, delicious. All right, get that back in there. And now we're going to do this butter. And you can either pour it in like I'm going to do, or just keep going until you get a consistency that kind of breaks apart but stays together at the same time. No big deal. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. See how it stays together, but it breaks apart at the same time? I wasn't lying. You think I'm lying? I'm not lying. So that's ready to go. And we have a pie plate here. I got it's semi-deep. You can use a regular 9-inch. I think this is 10-inch, a little bit bigger. And just adjust the ingredients downward, but I wouldn't. It's always good to have more, especially on the crust. So you know, it's the stuff that kind of falls off the edge. Eat it. Okay. So where can I do this? I'll do it right here. So pour it right in the center, and the more in the center you get it, the better. Kind of make a mound. It's as centered as you can be. And then I just want you to push down on it, work it up the sides, and try to get it the same thickness all around. I've been doing this for years, so I can do it fast, but you just take your time. Take your time, and don't get mad if it's not perfect. I mean, it's a crust. You know what I mean? With a name like Crust, how perfect do you think it wants to be anyway? All right, so let me do this. I'll bring her over. See? That took me literally 3 or 4 minutes. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want you to pay careful attention to where it kind of makes its turn and goes upward. A lot of people leave this too thick, and then when you're cutting it, you're like, you know, pie is good, but... So just stick your finger in there and make a little, you know, indentation. That's all, and then spread it around. Once you get the feel for this, you do a couple, it's fine. Now, I like to refrigerate mine. There's less shrinkage. Less shrinkage when you bake it at 350. It's going to come down a little bit, but that's okay. This will be just fine. So I'm waiting for that to hit 350. In the meantime, while we're preheating here, I'm going to tell you about the next layer. It's a thin layer of shredded pineapple and assorted scrumptiousness. This is what you do. You put it in a saucepan with some sugar. See that? About 3/4 cup of sugar. And this is fresh pineapple, 2 cups. You can use it out of the can, it's fine. Just make sure it's 2 cups. Probably 2 cans of that, I think it's 8-ounce cans. I'm not really sure. I think it's 10-ounce. Who knows? You'll look it up. 2 cups, okay? 2 cups of pineapple. Drain it, drain it, drain it. It's very wet. And we made a little, kind of like a slurry here, if you will. This is 3.5 tablespoons of cornstarch sprinkled over the juice of 2 limes, okay? That's going to go in here as a thickener. So let's stick that in there now. And that's really all you need for this layer. And it's, like I said, it's going to add kind of like a sweetness. I would go medium-low just to mix it around first. And after it starts bubbling, which means it's coming up to kind of like a simmer or a low boil, let it go for about a minute and continue to stir it. That'll kick in that thickener. And then turn it off. That's all. And let it get a little bit room temperature. It doesn't have to be freezing cold, but, you know, let it come down a little bit. So let's do this. Okay, that's mixed up. And before that comes up to that simmer, I'm going to bake this pie shell here. I have a non-rimmed cookie sheet in there. And at 350, well, let's let it go for about 6 or 7 minutes until you'll see the top edge start to get a little bit more darker than it should be. That means that it's pretty much done. Just take it out and let it cool down, okay? I'm going to set it, let's set it for 7 minutes. I think 7 minutes is fine. See, we're doing 2 things at once, but you could do it. You could do it. Just think it out, you know? Just think it out. Pretend you're cooking for a show, right? You're cooking for a show. You're on the show, you're in your kitchen, they bring in all these cameras and get everything ready like I do. You know, it's not, you know, this is not, what do they call it, rocket science? It's not. It's easy. It's freaking pie. Get over it. This still has not come up to a boil, so it's not time for the thickening thing to happen. So let's talk about the next step. Yeah, why not, right? In here, in this KitchenAid, softened 8-ounce cream cheese, all right? And we have Coco Lopez. That's right, I said the name because I love this stuff. This is sweetened coconut cream. You want to talk about stuff that you just want to freeze and make into an ice cream. Or, you know. If you like pina coladas, sorry about the earworm. By the way, this is rum. You can use rum extract. Teaspoon's fine. I use 2.5 tablespoons of this rum. And you're going to bake it off. So the alcohol is going away, but I understand. If you don't want anything to do with alcohol. I know. Just leave it out. 3 eggs. 3 large eggs, okay? And we have 2 teaspoons of grated lime zest. And that's going to go into our creamy filling. So let's see if this is starting to, yep. This is starting to do its thing. It's bubbling all over me, and it just hit me in the cheek, but I don't feel it because I'm on camera, but I will scream later into a pillow. All right, now it's bubbling, so let's count the minute together. Okay, let me bring it over to you. Don't do this at home. This is really hot. And look at it now, see? Now it is more of a filling than it was just some loose pineapple like hanging out in the jungle, you know. Let's let that cool. And now we're going to put together this part of the program. Let's get this softened 8 ounces of cream cheese in there. Now remember, my pie crust is still baking. I didn't forget about that. I don't care. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. When you're doing 3 things at once, always time it. Because if you ruin the crust, I mean, you can make a pina colada pudding, but does that sound as good as pie? You know what I mean? So just time yourself. Put a little timer there. That's all. It's a reminder, right? That's why they call it a reminder. You got to be reminded. Yes. All right, let's put this thing on. And it doesn't need that much beating up. It's cream cheese already, right? 3 eggs, 1 at a time. Coco, lo peso. Get it in there. Lime zest. Check the crust. It's okay, about 5 more minutes. Slow it down because this zest wants to fly away. See, in each layer, you're reminded of the coconut, of the lime, of the pineapple. In each layer, I'm telling you. And you must, it is a must that you stop the thing and stir it around and then put it back on again because the cream cheese likes to hug the bottom, you know? It's like, and we put it back on and just whip those pieces of cream cheese into oblivion. Okay, that'll do it. So let that pie crust just kind of cool down when you get it out of there because there's eggs in here and you don't want a scrambled egg pina colada mess on your hands. But, oh man, that lime in there. Hold on, let me switch to smell a phone, okay? I want everybody to smell your phone or your computer or your TV right now. But I wish you could smell this. Whew. All right, we're taking out the pie crust. Keep it on that 350 because you have to bake the pie, you know. All right, let me show it to you. It's exactly what you want. It's really hot, of course. But can you see that? Can you see how it's kind of getting a little bit dark there on the edges? That's just fine with me. Just fine with me. So let's let this cool. And then I'll show you the final steps. And then we'll make that topping. And then you're done. So I've put this pineapple down. It's okay, just about 1/2 inch of it, or you can put it all in there, whatever you want. And now I'm going to pour in my rum infused, which I did right before I put it in here, filling. Beautiful. So now we're going to take this, we're going to put it in an oven, 30-35 minutes, depending on your oven. And when you tap the middle, it'll bounce. All right, and keep your eye on the edge. If it starts to get too brown, make a little aluminum foil ring and put it around the edge. You can do that. All right, let me get this in here at 350. We're going to check it at 20 minutes. Put that on there if I need to. And at 30-35 minutes, you'll be done. She'll bounce on you, Johnny. And it's ready. I was in here. How long was I in here? Hold on, let me get back in. It was in here 35 minutes at 350. All right, I'm going to take it off this cookie sheet. Use these things, please, for the obvious reasons. To make hand puppets. Hey, so anyway, man, how's Okay. Now, normally for these type of pies, they'll say to have a jiggly center. I went all the way through, and you see it didn't crack. It's just a little bit different than making a cheesecake. That's all, okay? And it's very easy this way too, obviously. So we're going to put that on a rack. I'll get a rack out. I don't have one out, sorry. And we'll let that cool. So now we're going to make a very simple whipped topping. Well, not that simple. We're going to put coconut in it. Here's what goes in it. Come here. First of all, chill your bowl. I've had this in the freezer now. It's 5-10 minutes is fine, along with the whisk attachment. See, I didn't lie. It's cold. It's even colder than that thing was hot. All right. So let's put this in, hook it up, and you want to start on a medium speed, build up a base of bubbles. I've done this before for you, and I'll do it again. I will make whipped cream till the end of the world until you get it right. 2 cups heavy cream or whipping cream. Just put it in there. Don't dilly-dally, just get it the heck in there. Okay. When it's just about finished, and I'll show you when, we're going to put a 1/2 cup of sweetened shredded coconut, which means that you don't have to put a lot of confectioner's sugar, about 1/4 cup. But let the whipped cream become whipped cream first, or almost there. Then you start putting in all this stuff. Otherwise, she's going to flatten up on you. All whipped cream is air. I mean, I don't know what, it's air. That's all it is. So, again, towards the end, vanilla extract. And here's a little something that people don't do. I put a teaspoon of this gelatin powder, sprinkled it over a tablespoon of really cold water. That's going to go in towards the end also. And then you just flip it around a little bit more. That's going to give it more than just a whipped cream feel to it. You know, it's going to be a little bit more solid. Yeah, consistency, you can use that word if you're really smart, but I'm not. This is how it goes, all right? So let's get this going, and I'll show you the different stages. And by the way, toast a little bit of sweetened coconut for the top later. Just put it on a medium-low and keep moving it around. When it gets brown, take it off. And you sprinkle it on there. And we're going to put a little bit of that lime zest on there too. The bubbles are starting to come up, so now I'm going to put it up to high speed and just wait till it becomes whipped cream. Don't overbeat it or you're going to get butter. There's nothing wrong with butter, except when it goes to your cholesterol. But besides that, it can be very delicious too. But just keep your eye on it. You know the difference between whipped cream and butter. You know, you do. All right, now I stopped it before it becomes what they call hard peaks, okay? And I'm gonna put it back on again, just slow enough so this doesn't splatter all over. This is your 1/4 cup of confectioner's sugar, okay? Dump that in, put it up a little. It's all about outsmarting the bubbles, really, all right? This is what your life has come down to. Got to outsmart the bubbles. All right? Coconut, right? 1/2 cup going in. And I already put that gelatin water mixture in here. And just a teaspoon of vanilla. And then crank it up. Final stage. All right, 2 things have finished at the same time. So I'll show you. See? Whipped cream. Nice and solid. Nice and solid. It's not going to go anywhere. And toasted coconut. And I told you I have lime zest going on the top of that pie too. So, you have to chill down your pie, which I did. It's been about 3 hours. Let it get totally cool, all right? You could do this all the night before if you want. And then take it out in the morning. There it is, nice and cool. See, bumpy, it's bumpy and bouncy. Perfect, it's perfect. But make sure it's cold when it comes out. All right, let's get everything set up. And you can kind of just get it all together because it's in little sections or whatever you want to call it. But just get it all together. Don't handle it too much at all. See? Don't handle it too much at all. Just kind of fold it on top of itself and get that bottom up. And here we go, right? Just slap it on here, however you want. All right, that looks good for now. Not overly sweet, which is what we want. I'm going to add a little more. Always looks pretty when there's lots of whipped cream, you know? It's going to go in the fridge. I'm going to put a couple of little decorative things on here. This is some coconut, and I'm just going to throw it on the top. Just toast it just a little bit. Now I got some of this lime zest that I saved from yesterday. And as you remember, lime zest is already in the pie itself. And just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. Ah, it smells good. Oh, this lime. It's going to freshen it up, you know? It's going to freshen it up. And no, I'm not going to say things like, oh, There are lime notes coming through and it's a coconut finish. Shut up. Oh. Now let's put this in the fridge. Oh man, let that topping really get solid so when you slice it, you see all your layers. Remember, there's pineapple under there, baby. Okay? All right, everything's been chilled. The topping is now sliceable. Hopefully it won't be a big messy thing here. So let me do a taste and we'll see how it goes. Look at all your layers, see? Oh, look at that. Before I do, I have to do one thing. You know what it is. Instagram.
I'm gonna kick you in the shins.
Okay, well, here we go. Insane. Listen, this is so much fun. Next week, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, who knows? Week 10, I think, is next week. Do I offend? That was delicious. And thank you, Florida, for searching pina coladas and key lime pie. We put them together. Unbelievable. So, again, boom, right here. See? There. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Let's do this. I see you next week for our most Googled US recipes stuff. I am Chef Sel, and this is Chef Sel's Crazy Cooking Show. I'll see you next time.